Michael and Gabby, Wofford is making history here in Jacksonville. The Terriers now have their first NCAA tournament win. What was going through your mind when Nolan Turner made that pick in the final seconds?
Oh dear God, we're going to another natty.
This is the type of sports night that will literally give you chills. From start to finish, the atmosphere will be electric here at SunTrust Park in Atlanta. It's a winner-take-all game between the Braves and the Cardinals to see who will move on to the National League Championship Series. Trevor Lawrence is the difference between this year's Clemson team and last year's Clemson team. Clemson can now throw the ball downfield. Take a look at this guy's dunks. It is just not normal. It is pretty obvious that even as a high school player, Zion Williamson was headed for the big time. The Tigers can accomplish so much if they beat LSU in this national championship game. They could win their third national title in the last 4 years. They could also become the first team in the college football playoff era to win back-to-back national titles. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence, of course, a big reason for that. He's 26-0 as a starter. The North Greenville baseball team is one of the top Division II teams in the country. I'm here now with head coach Landon Powell. Coach, what's been the biggest reason for your success this season? Trevor Lawrence obviously had a big game running the football, something maybe people did not expect. He has run the ball more this year, but he was Clemson's leading rusher in the game. Pretty surprising. And then we have this big 67-yard run here, the longest of his career. What did you see from Trevor on this play, and do you think he can get away with doing this again? It's so special to see this confetti falling. Obviously, you remember the last time you captured a national championship. What do you think it means to these players to be a part of this moment?
That means the world.
And we also couldn't have asked for better characters with the head coaches we are going to see face off in that game. Ed Orgeron, the head coach of LSU, and Dabo Swinney, the head coach of Clemson. Both of them were doubted when they were named head coaches of their respective programs, and in a way, both defied the odds to get to where they are today. Every March, there's always one underdog team in the tournament that captures the attention of the country. Wofford could very well be that Cinderella team this year. The Terriers have drawn a lot of comparisons to the 2008 Davidson team that made a run to the Elite Eight. That team, of course, was led by now NBA champ Steph Curry. All season long, people have said you haven't played anybody. Tonight, you hand Ohio State its first loss of the season. What does this say about your team? Heading into this game, Clemson knew it would have to find a way to stop LSU quarterback Joe Burrow. So much talk leading up to this game about the Heisman Trophy winner and this explosive LSU offense, and it certainly lived up to the hype in this national championship game. Isaiah, you guys face your largest deficit of the season. You come back and win this game. What is it about this team and the fight you guys have that enables you to pull off this win? For 43 years, Travis Perry has been focused on football. He's learned a lot from the game, and the lessons it's taught him are helping him now as he takes on his toughest opponent yet.
Been an athlete all my life, coach all my life.
Travis Perry has also always been focused on staying healthy.
Never had tobacco of any sort in my mouth. Never been a drinker. Worst thing I do when I go fishing, I drink Diet Dr. Pepper. I never imagined in a million years that I would have cancer, and it just cuts your knees out from under you. This is the chemo part.
Okay, so you take your mask off.
Originally diagnosed in 2018, he had surgery in September and was declared disease-free until this past December, when Coach Perry's stage 4 bile duct cancer had returned.
Told her, whatever you do, don't leave, don't get out of this chair, because I don't want to swap cancer stories with anybody. I don't want to talk about it.
An overflow of patients that day meant only Perry was allowed in the room where he was getting treatment. He sat next to a woman named Judy, a complete stranger who made a big difference. Judy told Perry she was grateful that she was getting chemo that day. Her treatment had been moved up so she could go on vacation with her family.
This is a lady who I didn't know, spoke to one time. She changed my whole outlook on the entire situation of taking chemo and dealing with a cancer.
Perry decided at that moment he would fight cancer with the same fight he had as a football player and a coach.
Football's a game where you get knocked down. You have two choices. You either stay down on the ground or you get up. Sometimes I get so sick you feel like you're dying. And that's a scary feeling. And then being young, I don't want to leave my wife and my daughter and my family.
I promised him from day one I'll be with you through every bit of this. You won't do this alone.
At Greer High School, you can walk the halls and see bright green t-shirts with ribbons that represent bile duct cancer awareness. Perry's players have also been supportive.
I'd be coaching them up, and they'd pat me on the back, and I'm throwing up, and they're more worried about me than anything else.
When do y'all get started again?
Even some that aren't around Perry every day have reached out, including his hero.
Coach Sweeney sends me a text, just let you know I'm thinking about you today, praying for you. God's got this. You can handle it. And here he's preparing for a national championship. He takes a time out of his day to text a little bitty high school coach.
That support
Good to see you.
has meant everything to Perry as he battles the disease.
Dr. Stevenson said curable is not a word he'll be using anymore. I'd love to see my daughter graduate from college. I'd love to see her get married. I'd love to see we'd love to have a grandchild someday. I don't want to die now. I still like to coach and coaching a lot more football games.
And when I asked Coach Perry what he hopes people learn from him, he said he just wants them to remember that you have to fight. You can't give up. In Greenville, I'm Julia Morris, WYFF News 4 Sports.